My name is Joe Garagiola, and I've got a secret.
I've got a secret brought to you tonight by Philip, Milk of Magnesia, the complete antacid laxative, regular or mint flavor. From New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Allen.
Good evening and welcome once again to I've Got a Secret. Well, now that we've met baseball's own Joe Garagiola, let's meet the lineup on our panel. On first base, Betsy Palmer. Playing second, Bill Cullen. And holding down third base, Bess Meyerson. And that's 3/4 of our panel. Now, for the benefit of those of you who may not have seen last week's program, I'll explain something a little unusual. Gretchen Weiler, was our special guest. And she was kind enough to invite our own Henry Morgan to accompany her and a troupe of performers on a trip to the Greenland ice cap, 700 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Henry didn't know he was going till he learned about it on the air. And when we last saw our hero, he was protesting modestly that he didn't deserve this wonderful opportunity, as you can see from this picture. That was Henry's approach to the whole thing. And at any rate, he made the trip, he's back now, and here he is to tell us all about it, Henry Morgan. Henry, how was the trip?
Marvelous. I enjoyed every minute of it. From the moment I heard about it, full of eager anticipation.
Well, I knew that you'd have a good time, actually. There's no question about that. And I knew that you were looking forward to the trip.
Every minute of it.
Yes, I could tell that from the picture they took of you at the airport just before you boarded the plane. Needed a little help there at the last minute. Was the flight itself good?
Sensational. We got there in just 20 hours.
20 hours?
Well, there was a brief stop at Otis Air Force Base on Cape Cod for some spare parts. That took a little time. I said, what are the spare parts for? They said, the plane that you're on.
Yeah.
And, but they didn't need most of them.
How did the shows go? Did the guys enjoy your work?
Not me very much. We had a lot of glamour girls with us, and I don't think I was noticed.
Yeah, I see. Well, I guess you did have kind of a rough time competing with all those beautiful girls. But Henry came up with something that did it, I think. There he is, in long red underwear. Isn't that sweet?
Well, Miss Sweden wore something like that. She got a hand, so I came out in that to tie her.
All right. Well, we have some film of Henry's trip, and he's going to narrate it for us now, I hope. So I'm sure it'll bring back some pleasant memories for him. We'll lower the lights now, and we'll all look at this film of the trip. Here it is.
That's Gretchen, and I'm announcing something or other that I'm not going, probably. That's a fake take. I'm signing my last will and testament for the girl there. There's old Gretch getting up on board our luxurious cargo ship. And, of course, I am delighted to be going. Happy, gay, carefree, enjoying every second of it. Happy I was chosen to make this immortal journey.
We like to do these things for you, Henry.
There's old George Dowles of our staff there, being sure that I leave. Here I am amusing everybody with witty sayings and whatnot, singing, dancing. Here we're coming down. You can see there's a slight chill in the air, and we've only gotten as far as Massachusetts. Oh, that's the ballistic missile early warning system you've heard of. The big screens up in the back are actually the size of football fields.
Wow. Now, that's in Greenland.
That's in Thule. Here we are at the Soderstrom Air Base, which they call the Rock, because that's what it looks like. Henry Morgan Group, that's Gretchen's billing. Here, this is a terrible weather that is usual there. It goes in phases, 1, 2, and 3. This is phase 2, where you shouldn't really be out at all. The next phase, you've got to stay at the building you're in. Otherwise, you freeze to death. This is what happens there with an 80-mile wind in about 10 minutes. It drifts, whoop, it was 14 below in the morning when we got up there.
Sure.
And this is the way it looks as soon as the things clear up. Oh, it's a lovely country around there. This is Miss Sweden working in the show on stage. See what she's wearing? That's why I wear the underwear. Oh. She is saying, thank you for what I forget. There, a happy boy, making some foolish remark or other. This is Carol and the Burgundies, who are a rock and roll group who are an enormous success with the boys. And Joan Fairfax, she killed them too. And this is Rich Little, a mimic comic, very funny fellow. They loved him. Yay! And Gretchen Weiler at the beginning of her act, which was a sensation, of course.
In a diaphanous gown.
Practically, and that's the end of the first show that we did.
Looks like a very
Yeah, it went over quite... See, now we're in two helicopters. I'm in this one, the one that we're looking out the window of, and this is the other one. And we're going to an Eskimo village, which is just about 60 miles north of Thule. We're going further north now. And we get there, and there's a real Eskimo dog sled, no plant or anything. This is the way he operates. This is what they go hunting and fishing from. So I practiced a little with the whip, and I talked Gretchen into sitting on it. And then we got the engine started with the whip, a little slowly at first.
Anybody actually say mush?
I said it, but they don't know what that means. They speak Eskimo. And there we go, off into the wild white yonder. Over the ice cap. Go, man. Go, mush.
Yeah. There's a very old radio and television cliche which they always say at this point, it's Henry, you were a good sport.
Yes. Well, I didn't have much choice.
All joking aside, though, the Air Force tells me that every one of the 4 shows that you and the rest of the troop did, seriously, received a standing ovation.
I must tell you, forgive me for breaking this in, the Air Force up there does a perfectly remarkable job. They really do.
They do. The Air Force has asked me to express their gratitude to you, Henry, and to everybody in the troop on behalf of all the men who are stationed there. They really appreciated that.
Well, that was fun.
We'll sit down now, We'll be back in a minute, and during that time, 60 seconds will go by. Start counting them.
What in the world are you waiting for? When you suffer from irregularity and need a laxative, don't wait. Get the relief you need with Phillips, milk of magnesia. Doctors recommend milk of magnesia. When thousands of doctors across the country were asked, do you ever recommend milk of magnesia? The overwhelming majority said they did. You see, Phillips milk of magnesia does more for you because it's a laxative plus. That is, a laxative plus an antacid. As a laxative, Phillips works thoroughly but gently for truly comfortable relief. As an antacid, Phillips relieves the acid stomach troubles which often accompany irregularity. No single-purpose laxative can give such complete, yet gentle relief. Remember, doctors recommend milk of magnesia. So when you know you need a laxative, don't put it off. Take Phillips milk of magnesia, now also in mint-flavored form.
That's nice, that milk of magnesia. I'm dieting. I use skim milk of magnesia, but it's all very nice. Now may we have our first contestant, please. Nice to have you with us, sir. Would you tell us your name and where you're from?
Marvin McCamus. I'm from Falmouth, Massachusetts.
Mr. McCamus is associated with the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts. His secret's an especially interesting one, so without any further prologue, sir, let's get right to it. If you'll whisper the secret to me, we'll show it at the same time to our audience.
How are you?
Well, that's quite a secret, all right. The clue to Mr. McCamus' secret panel concerns something he did, and we'll start the game with Betsy Palmer.
Mr. McCamus, did you do this recently?
Yes.
Was it in the newspaper?
Yes.
Were other people involved with what you did?
Yes.
Did you have to do with anything underwater?
Yes.
Did you have to do with something that happened out on the coast of Spain?
Yes.
Well, if you...
Right down the middle of the track, $20. Bill Cullen?
Well, according to the way the audience laughed when you announced your secret, or the reaction...
What do they know?
Did you have something, Marvin, to do with the recovery of the hydrogen bomb that was sitting out there?
That's right. Betsy and Bill knocked that one off in a hurry. Mr. McCamus is a submarine pilot, and as you've concluded, he was the gentleman who was at the controls of the submarine that found the bomb. Now, we have the bomb here. How do you like that? No. Just want to see if you're paying attention. No, this is a model of the submarine, Alvin. Why is it called Alvin, by the way?
Dr. Alan Vine was the oceanographer that had a lot to do with having this thing built.
I thought it was because it looked like a chipmunk. I didn't realize. Anyway, it's called Alvin, and this is a model, I should say, of the ship that Mr. McCamus was piloting when the bomb was found. Now, why was this particular submarine used in the search?
Well, this is the only submarine of this type in the world, and due to its maneuverability and the terrain off of the coast of Spain, the Navy had this vehicle brought in.
I see. How deep can this go?
This can go 6,000 feet deep.
Wow. Pressure down there must be enormous. How long is the real job, the real ship?
The ship is 22 feet long, weighs 13 long ton, and is 11 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. You said the underwater terrain was difficult, even for a small sub like this. Could you tell us specifically what you mean by that?
Yes, the terrain down there, due to the backscattering of the plankton, was about 25 to 30 feet visibility, and the terrain was something like the mountainous, which with this very low visibility was something like flying a small plane through the Grand Canyon in a fog.
I see what you mean. Now, on the day that you found the bomb, exactly what happened?
The day we found the bomb, it was on our 22nd dive.
How long had you been looking for it?
Search. Well, we'd been looking for a little over a month then. And we'd made 22 dives to this point, and 2 dives previous to this, we'd been following a drag mark on the bottom, which possibly the bomb could have made. And we went off into this steep ravine into 2,500 feet of water, and there was the parachute with the bomb under it.
Now, we have a photograph here, which I understand you took of the bomb from the window, or the porthole, I should say, of one of the...
That's right.
In the front of the sub, and it's wrapped in the parachute. Is that it?
Right.
Now, to ask a naive question, what is an H-bomb doing wrapped in a parachute anyway?
Well, they have a parachute attached to all these bombs, evidently, that lets them down easy on when they're actually dropped.
I see. And you had to do the handling of it, I presume, with this mechanical arm, which is, of course, controlled from inside the ship.
Yes, we attached a line to the parachute shrouds with this mechanical arm from inside. And,
well, it seems like almost an impossible job, but of course you've done it. Did you get it up on your first try?
No. As the surface ship picked the bomb up, it was drug over a sandstone ledge and broke the line, and the bomb was lost again.
And how long did it take you to find it the second time?
Well, it took us another week to locate it again.
Wow. Now, I understand that at no time was there the slightest possibility that the bomb could explode. Is that correct?
No, the bomb itself was not armed, and it was fully intact, and there was no chance of radiation. The only danger was getting the submarine entangled in the parachute. That's right.
I see. There could have been a radioactivity danger had the bomb been cracked open in some way. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But it wasn't. Well, a great deal of credit, of course, is due to the crew of the Alvin. A 3-man crew, was it?
There's 3 pilots to the Alvin vehicle.
And also the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, which developed the Alvin here, and naturally to the United States Navy, which conducted probably the most difficult search of all time in the most thorough and efficient way. So thank you, sir, for telling us about this operation, and congratulations to all the men who made it possible. We'll meet our special guest for the evening in a minute after this message.
This is Springtime in the South. Here in the South, as all over America, people are turning to the taste that's springtime fresh. The taste of Salem cigarettes. Salem, America's favorite menthol cigarette, the largest selling by far, because Salem brings you rich tobacco taste, menthol soft flavor. Salem refreshes your taste.
Try something different for a change. Turn to Salem for a taste that's springtime fresh.
Try Salem filter cigarettes for a change.
Now it's time to meet our special guest for the evening. He's a former catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, presently the announcer for the New York Yankees baseball games, and with these unlikely qualifications, he has become one of television's most amusing and witty personalities. Here is Joe Garagiola. Joe, on behalf of Bill Cullen and Henry Morgan here, who are real baseball fans, we welcome you to I've Got a Secret.
Well, what about Bess and Betsy? You know, women are interested in baseball, and I bet they know as much baseball as Bill and Henry.
Well, I don't know about that. Girls, do either of you really understand the game of baseball?
Well, I played girls' baseball in high school.
Well, I did too, but that's another problem. Yes, Bill.
Steve, I'll tell you, having been here since the show began almost, I guarantee they both know more than your wife, Jane. Yeah.
That's true. She's the original, know nothing about baseball. Well, why don't you explain the setup, Joe?
Well, it's very simple. If they put their mind to it, and as far as playing girls' baseball, that qualifies you, right? Now, I'll tell you what, I've got some films of actual games.
Bats and balls.
Actual plays, that's right, bats and balls.
Sure.
Not the way the Yankees are playing without bats,
No.
with real bats and balls. And I'm going to show these actual plays, and I'm going to let Betsy and Bess look at them, and then explain them to Bill, and they'll do such a good job that they'll know exactly what happened.
All right, sure.
But they got to put a blindfold on. They can't watch this. No. Bill and Henry put blindfolds on.
We're not.
No, I'm going to show you actual plays. Put the blindfolds on.
We have a little movie film.
And
You remember that? And you're going. I'm going to set up a play, and you're going to describe it to Henry and to Bill.
Okay.
And you have to know, of course, the basic terminology. For example, the man with the bat is called the Batman. That's right. Okay, Joe, you're up.
Okay, the first play that you'll see is a very simple play.
Who's going to do it?
Well, a team will come up to bat. You'll
No,
see
I mean,
it.
who's going to do it here?
You are, Betsy.
I am?
Yes.
All right. There's a fellow up at bat, Bill.
Good.
He's got a hard helmet on. He hits the ball. Ball's going out. He's running to first base.
Right.
He hits first base. He's gone past first base. The umpire's chasing him. He's hitting second base. He's going all the way around. He's now going to hit third base, and he stops at third base. And somebody walked by with a mitt hanging in their hand with nothing in it.
Got to be a triple.
See how simple it is? Huh? That's it, right there. You get it so triple. A three-base hit, a triple. It wasn't a triple play.
Oh.
Just because it was a Mets film doesn't mean it's a triple play. No, now, I'll show this one, Bess, and you don't describe it. Let me kind of tell you what it is, and then you describe it to Henry after we come back, okay?
All right.
We got a man on third, and there's no one out. And just watch this film. Now, you see what happens.
Oh, that was funny, Bill.
Now, here comes a little meeting. He's going to visit a while. And that fellow's a little disgusted. And he slowly sinks in the west. And Yogi will be there to meet him and ask him a question. Gets no answer. Now, you describe that to Henry, what happened.
Well, some rough going on over there, Hen.
Okay.
There's a fellow on third. And before you know it, the fellow who has the bat in his hand gets hit by a member of his own team, I guess.
Not really.
He got hit by the... Oh, no, he got hit by the pitcher.
With the ball?
With the ball. And then, what happened was he got hit with the ball, and then the fellow from third started to run. He ran to the bag where the Batman. The bag. He ran to home, and the referee. Not the referee. The referee? The umpire sent him back to third, and the fellow who got hit with the ball walked very painfully and angrily to first.
Yeah.
What happened?
Just what you said. No, it's just, but possibly when the batter was beamed or whatever, you know, when that man's hit, he automatically gets to take first base, and the third man on third evidently thought that he could run home on the play, which is illegal, so he would be sent back to third.
He was very upset about getting hit.
And that's the play. That's right. The man at third had to go back.
Tell me a baseball player, like the man on third, wouldn't know that it was illegal to run home?
Well, he was running just to look like he was in the game, you see. Right. Sometimes you don't get to play like when I played. Every chance I had, I'd run across home, whether it meant anything or not, you see. But the ball was dead, and they had to go back. So now we got a man on third base, and we got a man on first. Now watch what happens when this one comes up, this play. Betsy, this is for you.
Can I describe it?
Now you'll have to hold it, and let me just tell you. Now he hits the ball to the shortstop. Yes. I'll tell you that.
Whoops. Whoops.
Now you just watch what happens here.
Whee! Ooh!
See? Now, you describe that to Bill, and you tell him what happened.
Well, they were kind of in a rut there for a while. The one fellow hit the ball all right out, and somebody caught it, but the man on third decided to run home, you see. But when he got near home, the fellows had already passed the fellow at home plate the ball, so he decided to go back to third, and they were throwing it back and forth all over the place. And finally, a whole slew of fellows kind of jammed in on him, but he got around them and hit home base, I think free.
No. Did you tell him what the fellow in the dark suit did? You know, he was
Did he make a signal? Yeah.
I wasn't paying any attention
Oh,
to him.
good.
Most of the times we don't.
Well, someone was caught in a rundown between third and home, and according to what Betsy told me, I'm going to play it safe and go the other way, and I think they got him out.
They did get him out. That's right. That's right. Bess, here's one for you. Watch this batter when he comes up, Bess. You'll like this play because it's a very exciting play. And the catcher, and the pitcher, and the batter.
What?
He hasn't missed one yet, has he?
No.
That is known as a Yankee rally. Now, watch this now. This is a study in concentration.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's not...
That's what I want you to tell Henry, what he was doing.
That I know.
Listen, was that...
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Yeah, what?
What you think it is?
I think
Bess,
it's like
talk to me, dear.
Well, wait a moment. I think it was a trick film.
It was...
Is that a trick?
No.
No, that was not a trick film. That's an actual game. It was a trick game.
Well, he pitched 4 balls to him.
That's right.
And they were mighty fast.
Yeah.
And
Did the batter swing at any of them?
No.
He just stood there.
He just stood there.
Okay.
And then after the 4th ball, he walked.
Okay.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened. He walked. That's right.
Why do you think there's a trick to it?
Well, I just think there must be a trick.
Henry, I'll tell you, getting on base, there is a trick to it. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I'll tell you that.
The same thing kept happening every time the ball passed him. It seemed as though the film was stopped and it started all over again.
No.
You know what I mean, Steve?
Of course.
Thank you.
But now watch what happens when he gets on base. We've got a man on first. Betsy, this time you watch it. I'll just
That's the man who's walked to
clue
first
you in.
now.
This is the man that got on first base, and you just watch what happens as he gets
There
on.
he is.
Now he's just visiting.
Okay.
And
Whoops.
it gets a little exciting right here.
Oh,
He's getting about 7 cents a mile here. There he is. All right, now you describe what happened.
Well, you know that fellow on first?
Yeah.
There was another guy up to bat, hit the ball. Fellow
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You sure you hit the ball?
Oh, surely.
Okay.
Hit the ball. The guy on first ran.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped the ball out in the field. He hit second base.
Yeah.
They almost caught the ball, but he didn't quite, and so he scooted around to third base.
Bess is shaking her head, though.
Well, he didn't hit the ball. The guy stole second, and was safe on an error, and then went on to third, if he did go to third.
That's what happened right there. That's it. Yeah. See how easy it is, Steve?
Yes.
Don't even have to watch games.
No.
We ought to try them on lacrosse or soccer or something.
Well, he's an old Pittsburgh fan. That's an act they had of missing the ball. And
You're right.
You remember those days?
Well, Joe, this was a great idea. Oh, incidentally, you can take off your masks now, fellas. We're still here. You see how nice we are? Joe, that was a fascinating spot, and thanks so much for it. We'll be back after this message.
Thank you.
Look, margarine so soft it comes in 2 little tubs. New chiffon margarine. Why is it soft? To harden other margarines into sticks, they have to add more saturated fat than chiffon. But chiffon is kept soft, so it's lowest in saturated fat, even lower than corn oil spreads. Soft with the melting flavor of the expensive spread. Chiffon, first soft margarine. So soft it comes in a tub. Now, dressings that cling to salad won't sink to the bottom of the bowl. The Unsinkables from 7 Seas, made creamy to cling to every bite, like 7 Seas Creamy Russian, made with green peppers, tomatoes, spices, herbs, for a heart of real relish. Only true Russian you can buy. One of the Unsinkables from 7 Seas.
And now Joe's going to put a question or two to Bessie or Betsy.
Well, I want to ask Betsy. It's very simple. When you hear a sportscaster say that he's credited with a sacrifice, what does that mean?
He gives something up.
Like what?
Like he switches, he gives up a ball player to another baseball team, maybe. Sacrifices a good player for somebody else.
That was wrong. And how about hit and run, Bess? A hit and run.
Hit and run.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a Yankee fan, and I didn't like what you said before. But a hit and run means that he hits
The ball.
anything, and he just runs.
What do you mean he hits anything? A
He
player?
hits the ball.
Manager?
He hits the ball, and he runs. It's like this is the last chance he has to do that.
How about a squeeze?
A squeeze.
Is that right?
That's when you get people in between bases and they're trying to squeeze through to the other base. I'm not sure.
One question more.
Texas Leaguer. You should know that. What is a Texas Leaguer?
Is a fellow who's on a Texas ball team.
And that concludes this broadcast of Ladies' Day. Joe, again, thank you so much. Joe Garagiola. Wonderful. See y'all next week. Night, everybody.
I've Got a Secret has been brought to you tonight by 7 Seas Creamy Russian. The salad dressing made with a heart of real relish. One of the Unsinkables from 7 Seas.
Stay tuned for a double-barrel comedy when Dean Martin plays both himself and his double. And Lucy has a date with both on The Lucy Show, next in color.
This program was pre-recorded. This is John Cannon speaking.